Service structures, what are they? Why do you need them? Why are they in Upland? Why do they come up every week? It seems like, how many are there? We're going to go over all of these questions. We're going to answer them. We're going to go over the announcements we've dropped so far. I've been seeing a lot of questions out there from different players. Hey, what are service structures? What do they do? Fun fact, about a month ago, we dropped an announcement explaining service structures, what they do, why you need them, why you're going to need them in the future when residents and Uppies come to Upland. And we dropped a new type of service structure called the multi-purpose service structure as well. We're going to go over that. We're going to show off some of the service structures that we've dropped so far. So first up, Uppies. This is the announcement. We're going to go over at a 10,000-foot view. I would highly encourage you to come and read this in detail. I'll link it. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'll link it in the description below. If you're in the game, you can go to the news tab and go down and just look for this, service structures. This thumbnail will be there. And you can give it a read for yourself, but go over it in detail because you're going to want to know what are service structures. Why do you need them? First up, you're going to need them to attract Uppies. You're going to need them to attract Uppies to your neighborhood. Uppies are residents. There's a resident score coming to your neighborhood. We're going to have another video about that. We dropped another announcement about that. And Uppies add an entirely new strategic layer to the game. Upland is about to become this living, breathing world where Uppies live and breathe their lives inside of Upland each and every single day, where they live in your houses, in your neighborhoods that you've constructed for them every single day. But they don't just live anywhere. They live in the best neighborhoods. They live in neighborhoods that attract them. They live in neighborhoods with service structures. So you've already been building for a while now different types of housing units. Those housing units have living units in them, saying how many Uppies can live in them. We now have service structures. There are 5 key areas. There are 5 key categories that influence the appeal to your neighborhood. First of all is living units and your home address. That's 1 and 2. Next up is transportation. So how many cars are in your neighborhood? How many cars are parked in your properties in your neighborhood? That is what will affect transportation. Different types of transportation will have different type of transportation scores attached to them. For instance, you can imagine a bus has a higher score than a sports car because not as much people. That doesn't affect as much people transportation wise. So transportation is part of it. Employment is something that you guys have already been working on as well. Employment, there will be an employment score in different neighborhoods, and Uppies will be attracted to neighborhoods where there are employment opportunities. What are employment structures? Well, they're factories, they're MetaVentures, they're Block Explorer shops they're dev shops. Those all count as employment for Uppies. Now, there are 3 other categories here that are service structures that are being dropped. Entertainment service structures. So think of these as anything that you do for entertainment. So sports fields, theaters, bowling alleys, et cetera, et cetera. There are essentials. Essentials are things like supermarkets and barbershops. And then finally, there are public services. These are schools, hospitals, fire stations, police stations, et cetera, et cetera. Now, the combination of those 5 categories will determine the influence a neighborhood has at attracting Uppies into their neighborhood and into your houses. With these service structures come service units. It's a new stat. So we have living units in living structure. We have service units in service structure, and each structure will add a value based on what kind of structure it is and how it falls into that category. Another thing that is going to matter is decor and variety. So map assets on property is going to matter. Well-rounded decorated neighborhoods, structure ornaments on your for the seasonal structure ornaments are going to matter as well for influencing who and how many Uppies come to not just your neighborhood, but your property as an individual, as an Uplander in Upland. Now, these are service structures. So we dropped these for the first time a month ago, and every week there has been a couple that have dropped and gone on for sale. How do you get service structures? Well, you can get them from other Uplanders. They can come and build them if you missed out and you don't have the ability to build a barbershop, for instance, or a police station that has already dropped, or a library, or a small supermarket, et cetera, et cetera. If you missed one of the drops, you can always hire someone, pay them in Uppies to come and build in your neighborhood or build on your property and stuff like that. We fully expect that a secondary market will come up from these service structures. Now, the unique thing about how service structures are dropped is they are dropped for a limited time, and this is our first announcement, inside of the Upland store. And you can see here like a supermarket, barbershop, a movie theater, and a restaurant. And finally, an elementary school and a police headquarters were all part of the first drop. They're available for about 3 days, 3 to 4 days, each time they drop. Once they're gone, those versions of those are gone forever. So this is the police headquarters. It's absolutely massive, but you can foresee in the future there will be little neighborhood police stations or medium-sized police stations instead of this big, large, hulking police headquarters. So while you may miss out on this version of a police headquarters, there will be different iterations of service structures that drop over time. There will be a indefinite amount of service structures that drop. That's a question that I continue to see come up as well. If you think of games like City Skylines or SimCity, there is tons and tons and tons of different types of structure that have different abilities and attract people to live in those neighborhoods at different levels. One of the new things that we just dropped today, new structures, is a multi-purpose structure. What is a multi-purpose structure? So we talked about the 5 categories. So a supermarket, for instance, is an essential category. A high school, for instance, is a public service category. So it fills those 2 spots and attracts you to that neighborhood. However, some service structures will have 2 purposes to them. They'll fulfill 2 categories. So today we announced right here, let me go to it. This is the supermarket. The supermarket superstore. What is this thing of this? Like a big box, giant Costco, giant Walmart, giant super Target, etc., etc. And this is not only an essential, but also you can see here there is a cafe attached on the right-hand side there. So it also counts as a little bit of entertainment as well. So it's essential and entertainment. We also dropped the high school today, and you can see that the high school here. Obviously, high school is a public service, except for it's got a football field. And every Friday Night Lights is a real thing. The community, the Uppies, will come to the high school and watch football games together. So it also is a multi-purpose structure. It will give you a public service score and a little bit of an entertainment score as well. And so that's the first time that we've dropped these. Again, this is the sale that is currently on. A dentist office is here as well. In fact, let's take a look. Here is some of, oh my goodness, it's not playing. Here's the arcade that was dropped. Super cool. This is obviously entertainment where Uppies will come and play video games. Really, really exciting. This one is the bakery, I believe. Is this the bakery? This is the bakery. And what I love about these is look at inside the window there. You can see the cakes and the baked goods and the seats inside, the detail. If you're over the top of the sunroof, you can see inside through the top of the sunroof there. And that has dropped as a service structure as well. Now, this is the bowling alley. This obviously is entertainment, and you can look inside and you can see the bowling lanes in there. I love the bowling alley. The bowling alley is. I will not move to a neighborhood if it doesn't have a bowling alley, and neither will your Uppies. And you can see this is a cafe. This was one of the first structures that dropped, and just the detail that's involved here in these service structures is super, super cool. Is there anything on that sign? I don't know. I can't tell. I can't zoom in. And then we've got this, I believe, is the courthouse. Correct. It is the courthouse. Yes. We've already dropped this. This is the dentist office that just dropped, and you can see the dental chairs back there. Uppies care about their teeth. You can see the waiting room, and then, hey, come back. And then you can see that's where they get checked out. It's so cool. And that's the dentist office that just dropped today. We obviously have a fire station. This, again, is another public service structure in the fire station there. We've got the gym. Again, check out that upstairs. There's some weights there. There's people getting buff, people getting swole. Also, I dig the bikes out front here as well. Super, super cool. Again, I just love the detail that's involved in these superstructures. They're going to make neighborhoods that have them. There's a reason that Uppies will be attracted to neighborhoods that have the most variety, the most service structure. Here is the high school, one of our first multi-purpose structures here, where Uppies will come Friday night to watch the game, to watch their local high school team play. Hopefully, win for a state championship. That'd be pretty cool. There, we've got a hospital that we dropped. This hospital reminds me of the hospital in The Dark Knight. You guys see, The Dark Knight, where Joker's walking away and it explodes. I don't know why, it just does. I don't know what that means. Take that for what you will. But there's the hospital, absolutely giant. Again, a public service necessity. And then finally, This is the Superstructure Supermarket. The Supermarket Superstore. That's what it's called. The Supermarket Superstore. And you can see right there on the side, there's a cafe, and that's where you get that little bit of entertainment as well. Again, service structures. They will continue to drop over time, especially as we get closer to residents. Even after residents officially come inside Upland, they will continue to drop. There will be all kinds of service structures coming. Upland is changing. This is a part of that change. It's becoming more strategic than ever. These buildings matter more than ever. Your buildings, your properties matter more than ever. And you want to make sure that they're the best place in order to have Uppies move into your neighborhood, move into your structures, and make sure you're the best place in Upland for Uppies to live. That's going to do us. Again, I highly recommend you go take a look at these announcements, go look over them in detail. If you have any questions, you can always write into support. You can let the community team know. But that's service structures. Very excited about them. Very excited about the future of Upland and Uppies and residents. And things, the pedal to the metal, baby. That's what I'm trying to say. Pedal to the metal. Whatever. Have a great rest of your day, guys. We'll see you in Upland. Bye-bye.